IG Joe.
IG Joe is there.
IG Joe.
IG Joe is there.
This is Sergeant Horse and Fingers to IG Joe headquarters. We have discovered a small farm community with a lot of fresh produce, but the enemy is close by. So to prevent the enemy from claiming it, I have ordered my team to destroy all of the produce.
This is Mamba Team Leader to Mamba Control. We've located a farm with a lot of freshly harvested crops. So to keep the IG Joe team from claiming them, I've ordered my team to destroy all of the crops.
Can't y'all just leave the produce for us?
No!
I'm War Boss Bogo, continuing my tactical study for the Great War. I've come across 2 guild teams getting ready to have a proper scrap over some crops on an agri world. Let's go see what forces each team is bringing to the fight. Go ahead and introduce yourself to our viewers and tell us about your team.
I'm Sergeant Horse and Fingers of IG Joe. I've got a power fist, a plasma pistol, and carapace armor. My team consists of my communication specialist, 5 gunners with different weapons, and the grenade launcher and plasma gunner have carapace armor, and 7 regular IG Joe soldiers with las guns.
So what's your strategy for this fight?
Our main objective is to destroy as many crops as possible. But also I've discovered a secret about this farm that I don't think the enemy knows about. So we're going to exploit that. And in the end, we're going to give the enemy a big surprise.
A little bit vague, but alright. Now let's go see what the Drukhari are bringing. Who are you then?
I am Mamba Team Leader Snithior, and I carry the Camelite banner. My team consists of a heavy gunner with a dark lance, 2 gunners with truly wicked blasters, 2 elite Camelite warriors, 1 with Agonite ammo, and 1 with Death Bloom. And finally, 4 standard Camelite warriors with splinter rifles.
And what's your strategy?
We have come to cause suffering by destroying all of these crops, but we will also inflict unimaginable pain upon the foolish IG Joe team that dares oppose us. Today shall be the stuff of which nightmares are made.
Well, don't let me keep you. On with the fighting. Before the battle begins, scouts from both sides set up barricades, hoping to provide a tactical advantage. The combatants then begin taking positions, readying for the battle. Both sides reveal their intention to infiltrate the battlefield, and the attacking Drukhari win the initiative. The Sybarite orders his operatives to take advantage of their superior speed. And, hoping to keep up, Sergeant Horse and Fingers orders his men to move! And with the Drukhari not using any more strategic ploys, Sergeant Horse and Fingers orders his operatives to take aim. The Guardsman Communications Specialist then relays the orders throughout the entire kill team. The Sybarite orders his kill team to spread out across the entire kill zone, while the Sergeant orders his men to secure the center of the kill zone. The Sybarite then orders his team to secure vantage points. And, mysteriously, the Sergeant orders his men to secure a special objective, which turns out to be a useless-looking little shack. Wasting no time, a Cabalite warrior moves to some nearby crops and lights them on fire. He then dashes back to a point of better cover. The comm specialist then relays guidance to the grenade launcher, increasing its APL. Another Cabalite then moves forward, lights crops on fire, then dashes to cover. The grenade launcher then moves and dashes onto the platform. From his vantage point, he then aims his grenade launcher at the hiding Cabalites and fires. But the swift Cabalites are able to avoid the fragments, and none of them suffer any injuries. Another Cabalite then moves and dashes to some crops and lights them on fire. But determined not to be outdone, a guardsman rushes to some crops and sets a fire of his own. And, using group activation, another guardsman moves to some crops and lights them on fire. The Cabalite with Death Bloom ammo then charges up some stairs and peppers the nearby grenade launcher with poison shards, causing him to die a horrible death. A guardsman then moves to some nearby crops and lights them on fire, while another guardsman takes cover near some stairs at the center of the kill zone. A Cabalite blaster moves behind a wall and shifts about to find the best shooting angle. With the guardsman sniper unable to see the Death Bloom Cabalite, the plasma gunner rushes up the stairs, supercharges his weapon, and vaporizes the Death Bloom Cabalite. The Drukhari heavy gunner then moves forward to take cover behind a wall. And the guardsman melter gunner scrambles up along the side of a house. A Cabalite warrior then rushes forward, taking cover inside enemy territory. A guardsman soldier also rushes forward and finds cover. And another guardsman moves forward to take cover behind a barricade. A Cabalite warrior takes cover near one of the Cabalite blasters. Another guardsman moves and dashes to take cover behind a barricade. A Cabalite blaster then slithers up the steps, keeping himself concealed.
Sergeant Horsenfingers charges the nearest Cabalite, but chooses not to attack. And the Drukhari Commorrite skulks his way through the tree line. The Guardsman Flamethrower moves up behind Sergeant Horsenfingers. And the Guardsman Sniper waits patiently for a target. At the end of the first turning point, the IG Joe team scores one extra victory point for central control, making the score 4-3, but it's still anyone's fight. At the start of turning point 2, the Drukhari again seize the initiative. The Commorrite orders his team to remain fleet, while the sergeant orders those close by to affix bayonets. Finally, the Commorrite employs injured to suffering, allowing his team members to ignore certain wounds. The Commorrite gunner then pops up from concealment, fires his deadly blaster, disintegrating the IG Joe plasma gunner. A guardsman then dashes up some stairs and blasts a nearby Cabalite warrior with his las gun, causing a moderate wound. Another guardsman then charges the wounded Cabalite, but finds the fight harder than he expected. And after slashing the Drukhari slashes him back. The Cabalite then fights back, but he soon falls prey to the guardsman's blade. The Flamethrower then charges a Cabalite warrior and fights in close combat with support from Sergeant Horsenfingers. The Flamethrower slashes with his bayonet, but the Cabalite slashes back, forcing the Flamethrower to parry the Cabalite's onslaught. Another Cabalite warrior comes out of hiding to reignite the nearby crops. He then once again dashes behind cover. The sergeant then smashes his power fist into the Cabalite warrior, not even giving him a chance to fight back. Horsenfingers then backs up slightly. A Cabalite warrior traverses a wall to reignite some nearby crops. A guardsman then charges the Drukhari heavy gunner, parrying his counterattack, then slashing with his bayonet. The comms specialist then moves and dashes to be closer to the guardsman sergeant. The Commorrite then moves forward, burns some crops, and dashes to the stairs. A guardsman then burns some crops. While another guardsman burns other crops. Finding himself locked in combat, the Drukhari heavy gunner draws upon all his training in an effort to prevail. He parries one of the guardsman's attacks, but the next one pierces his armor. He then slashes the guardsman, but the guardsman slashes back, leaving the heavy gunner barely alive. The melter gunner scurries across the center line of the kill zone and finds a new place to take cover.
A Sybarite then charges around the school and pumps a guardsman full of agonite, causing him to crumple to the ground. Surprised at the sudden appearance of a target, the sniper fires a careless shot and only grazes the agonite Sybarite. A Drukhari blaster traverses a wall to take cover behind a barricade. A guardsman then moves forward and fires his lasgun at the other Sybarite blaster, but misses him completely. While another guardsman burns more crops. At the end of the second turning point, the Imperial Guard score another victory point for Central Control, increasing the score to 8-6 in favor of IG Joe. Seizing the initiative, the Imperial Guard sergeant orders his men to take aim and take cover, which the comm specialist then relays via Vox. And once again, the Sybarite orders his men to remain fleet. And neither team reveals any more tactical objectives. A guardsman charges a Cabalite blaster, but is immediately met with a flurry of blades. The guardsman parries, and then the Cabalite strikes before the guardman finally scores a slash. Another guardsman then joins the fight, but after scoring a single hit, he is dispatched by the skillful Cabalite blaster. The agonite Cabalite burns the last of the nearby crops, then moves and dashes into the Imperial Guard drop zone. The melter gunner emerges from cover and fries a Cabalite warrior. Nearly killing him. The wounded Cabalite then fires back at the melter gunner, but completely misses. The Cabalite then emerges from cover to contest some nearby crops. But the guardsman flamethrower makes short work of him. And then moves closer to the crops. The Sybarite charges a nearby guardsman and guts him with his power claw. The Sybarite then employs power from pain to motivate the nearby blaster, who then moves and dashes across the platform, disintegrates one guardsman, and seriously injures another. A guardsman then burns some of the remaining crops, then shoots the Cabalite blaster with his lasgun. Another guardsman then shoots the blaster.
then moves behind a building. The desperate Cabalite heavy gunner slashes clumsily, but is slain by his guardsman opponent. And the guardsman rushes over to burn some remaining crops. A Cabalite then rushes under the platform and burns some crops. The comm specialist moves closer to Sergeant Horse and Fingers, while a Cabalite burns more crops. Then Sergeant Horse and Fingers personally burns the last crops in the kill zone. And the sniper shoots the Sybarite, causing a moderate wound. At the end of turn-in point 3, all of the crops have been destroyed, making the score 11-9. And neither team scores any more tactical objectives. In the final turning point, the Imperial Guard again claim the initiative, and the sergeant orders his men to take aim, once again relaying it through the communications specialist. And, unrelenting, the Sybarite orders his team to remain fleet. And neither team declares any additional tactical objectives. Determined to prove his worth, the sniper finally eliminates the troublesome Cabalite blaster. And seizing the opportunity, the agonite Cabalite plants a signal beacon, scoring 2 more victory points for his team. A guardsman shoots the Sybarite for a serious wound. Then charges under the stairs to engage a Cabalite blaster. And a Cabalite warrior charges a guardsman, but chooses not to attack. But seeing an enemy close by, the guardsman flamethrower charges the Cabalite. And after the two parry each other's blows, the guardsman lands a critical slash. The surviving Cabalite blaster then moves and dashes to a different part of the kill zone, hiding as best he can behind some stairs. Sergeant Horse and Fingers then charges in to help his men fight. He parries one of the Cabalite's blows, then smashes the Drukhari with his power fist. The wounded Sybarite then charges a nearby guardsman. But instead of attacking, he just gives the guardsman an evil glare.
Remember this face. You will see it in your nightmares.
A guardsman then moves to secure the shack. And the comms specialist does the same. A guardsman moves to the Drukhari drop zone and proudly plants the banner of IG Joe before one last guardsman moves to secure the shack. In the end, each kill team destroyed 9 crops, and the Drukhari also planted a signal beacon for an extra 2 victory points. But they didn't earn anything for overrun or vantage. And of course, because they came in uniform, they score another 2 victory points for a total of 13. The Imperial Guard, on the other hand, scored 2 points for central control, 2 points for seized ground, and 2 points for plant banner. And they also came in uniform for an extra 2 victory points, making their total 17 victory points. But I have to say, I'm still curious what was so special about that little shack.
It was a tough battle, but it looks like your team won.
Ha 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 ha. We did not only destroy the crops and plant our banner in the enemy drop zone, we also claimed the building where the farmers store all their moonshine. And that is too precious to destroy.
Well, there you have it. An impressive victory for the Imperial Guard. Stay tuned for more battle reports as I continue my mission for the Great War!
IG Joe,
IG Joe is there.
IG Joe,
IG Joe is there.